Hello, my beautiful radiant Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sanctuary for the truths that the rest of the world is often too noisy to hear. If you have found yourself here in this quiet corner of the internet, resting your weary heart against these words, know this, it is not an accident. The universe has conspired to bring you here because the time has come to speak about the heaviness you have been carrying behind that dazzling smile. I want you to sit with yourself for a moment. Just you. No audience, no expectations, no performance. Imagine you are reaching for a long, deep breath after a lifetime of holding it in. You may not have consciously noticed it yet, but the sky above your life has already begun to change its colors. It is that specific golden hour light, the kind that floods the world right before the sun sets. The shadows are getting longer, the light is turning deeper, almost amber, and somehow everything that used to look so familiar suddenly looks different. It feels temporary. And before we dive deeper into this profound transition, I need you to make a pact with your own future right now. If you are ready to lay down the heavy crown you've been wearing and step into your true, authentic power, I want you to claim it. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss these divine appointments. And right now, go to the comments below and type, "I am ready to uncover the long, hidden truth." Let that be your first act of courage today. Let the universe see your declaration. Now let's breathe. That shift you are feeling, that is the moment the universe chooses to whisper to you. A great cycle has completed. For a long time now, my brave Leo, you have been moving through life with the posture of royalty, head held high, heart open, carrying the weight of the world on your sturdy shoulders. You still work. You still love with that ferocious Leo intensity. You still try so hard not to disappoint a single soul in your kingdom. You are the rock. You are the sunshine. But I see you. Underneath that strong, majestic exterior, there are nights when you lie quietly in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you are still walking in the right direction. This doubt isn't because you are weak. Leos are never weak, but because your heart, your ruling center, is brutally honest. And lately, that heart has begun to tell you softly but clearly that something in your life has reached its absolute limit. Maybe it is the career where you once shone so brightly, which now feels like a stage where the curtains never close, leaving you exhausted. Maybe it is a relationship that no longer brings warmth to your fire, only a constant demand for your energy. Or maybe it is the very city you live in, once a place of adventure, now just a backdrop that feels too small for the person you are becoming. All the things that used to hold you up now feel like royal garments that have become too tight, constricting your breath, dimming your light. You have grown magnificent soul, but your surroundings have not. There are days you don't understand why you are so deeply tired, so easily saddened, so drained of your usual motivation. But your soul knows. Your soul is ancient and wise, and it is telling you that the journey you have been on is done. Those restless nights weren't meaningless insomnia. Those moments of feeling lost weren't signs of failure. They were the first gentle tremors of a castle gate getting ready to open. You've heard that calling before, haven't you? A soft, patient sound like the wind moving through the savannah, urging the lion to find new territory. Inside you, the question rises, could I live differently? Could I live lighter? Could I be loved for who I am, not just for what I provide? And every time it appears, you push it away. Because life still demands you to be the king, the queen, the steady ground for everyone around you. But listen to me closely, Leo. Even the brightest sun needs to set to rise again. Even the fiercest fire needs new wood to burn. This feeling you have, This is not loss. This is not failure. This is not you giving up on your people. This is simply the universe saying, "My dear child, it is time to release what has already served its purpose." A new door only opens when your hands are no longer clinging white-knuckled to the old handle. The universe, in its gentle but firm way, is placing a hand on your shoulder, reminding you that this chapter has reached its natural conclusion. Let yourself pause and feel the resonance of that truth. Feel it as if you are standing on the thin horizon line between what has passed and what is coming. There is no need to rush. There is no need to fear the dark. Just be honest with yourself. You cannot continue the way you have been. You cannot keep pouring from an empty cup. And that honesty is righteous. It is natural. It is necessary for your evolution. Every ending carries the shadow of regret. Leos feel this deeply because you love so hard, but tucked inside that regret is the spark of a new dawn. When a phase completes, its energy closes on its own. And in that empty space between two journeys, that is where your new light begins to grow. You are standing in the void, Leo. You may not see the shape of the future yet, and for a fixed sign like you, that uncertainty can be terrifying. But you can feel the new air moving around you. Let this transition come with gentleness. Trust that nothing in your life falls away without meaning. Everything fading now is simply a layer of armor that has finished protecting you. You don't need the heavy armor anymore. You need wings. And now, as the cosmos senses you are strong enough to go farther, it is preparing to open a vast new sky for you. Wider, brighter, and strangely, you are more ready than you think. Just as you settle into this quiet moment of realization, a new breeze appears. Not loud, not urgent, just a subtle sensation like a scent on the wind, inviting you to take the next step, guiding you toward a place your heart recognizes before your mind even understands the map. From that gentle shift, the story begins to unfold in another direction, naturally, like the morning light, slowly spreading across the plains. And as you stand inside that quiet space, Leo, the sky above you begins to shift in ways only a listening soul can feel. There is a different kind of energy forming, subtle yet steady. It is like a rising tide. You don't see it with your eyes, but you sense it with that primal intuition, that gut instinct you have carried through every season of your life. At first, it is nothing more than a breeze brushing the back of your neck, a vague discomfort, a small misalignment in the rhythm of your days. But then it returns clearer, stronger, as if the universe is gently tapping your shoulder and asking, "It is time now, isn't it? You know you cannot stay here. You are not imagining it." This is the influence of Mercury, stirring the deepest waters of your transformation. When Mercury touches the sector of major change for a Leo, things you never said out loud start becoming undeniable. Important conversations unfold inside your mind. Truths you once ignored begin to grow louder, like someone turning on a floodlight. In a room you have grown used to living in half shadow, you begin to see the silent orders your heart has been sending. You begin recognizing the things you need to release the pride that keeps you stuck, the loyalty to people who are not loyal to you. Mercury never comes to break you. It comes to pull you out of places where you have been stuck, playing a role for far too long. And when it stirs that current inside you, you can feel the shift, like a star, quietly changing its orbit. At the same time, the sun, your ruler, your celestial parent, is preparing to move you into a higher vibrational frequency. Every time this solar cycle shifts, your entire energetic system rearranges itself. It resets. It steps onto a higher path. It is like the moment winter finally retreats and the earth opens itself to the first warm breath of spring. No one orders the grass to turn green again. No one forces the flower buds to rise. They simply respond to the call of the sun. And Leo, so do you. When your ruler shifts everything that no longer resonates with the light you are moving toward, naturally falls away. No force needed, no struggle. It happens so gently you are not sure whether to grieve it or sigh in relief. People may step out of your life. Work that once felt like your identity may feel strangely distant, like a costume you wore in a play that has ended. Old dreams may stop stirring your spirit, all because the new light you are heading into no longer matches the old layers you have been carrying. This isn't a sign of failure. This is confirmation that you are stepping into a wider, truer orbit of your soul. When the heavens move, the human soul must move with them. It is the most natural law of this universe. And Leo, you are the royalty of the zodiac. You were born to lead, to create, to radiate, not to stay trapped in stories that have already reached their final page. The universe knows how strong you are. It knows your heart is made of liquid gold. Courageous, yes, but sensitive enough to feel even the slightest shift in the temperature of love. In this moment, with all these silent messages knocking against your chest, something becomes clear. This pressure wasn't meant to push you down. It was meant to lift you up. It is the pressure of the diamond forming. It is gently pushing you to step toward what has been waiting for you, something you have sensed in silence for a very long time. From within all this movement, a small pulse begins to rise. A rhythm, like the first footstep of a journey you know you cannot avoid. A rhythm that opens the path for what is coming. A rhythm you are about to feel more clearly than ever before. And as those movements in your life grow clearer, my dear Leo, another truth slowly rises from the deepest part of you. A truth you may have hidden for a long time, the way a monarch hides their tears beneath a veil. You have always been the one who steps first, the one who shines, the one who warms everyone else up when the world is cold. But maybe it has been a long time since you asked yourself whether your heart still has enough fuel to keep burning at that intensity. In the place you never speak of, there are days you feel like the whole world is resting on your mane. You try to be the hero, the provider, the one everyone can lean on, even when you yourself need a hand to hold. You take on responsibilities no one asked for because you are afraid that if you don't do it, no one will. You stay silent about the things that hurt your pride because you don't want to show vulnerability. And slowly, without warning, your spirit grows tired. The fire that defines you flickers on some days, not gone, but no longer roaring. You know this, yet you keep performing as if nothing is happening. That is the Leo trap. People grow so used to seeing you as the sun that they forget you can burn out. They don't see the moments when being strong means swallowing the words that should have been spoken. They don't realize that to keep being the energy source for others, you have been draining yourself dry. How many times have you placed other people's needs above your own creative desires? How many audiences have you entertained while your soul quietly wished to exit the stage? How many times have you convinced yourself to endure just a little more because you thought, I am a Leo, I can handle this, I must handle this. But listen to me, even the king of the jungle needs to rest. Even the queen needs to take off the crown and just be a soul. You were not born to carry all the heaviness of the world. You are not the only one responsible for keeping everyone else happy, and you are certainly not required to sacrifice your own glow just so others can feel warm. The universe has seen everything you have carried in silence, the pains you hid behind a joke or a smile, the sighs you swallowed to maintain the dignity of the room. The moments you wanted to let go, but told yourself to hold on a little longer out of loyalty. And now, from the deepest place within you, the universe is speaking clearly. Not every responsibility belongs to you. Not every piece of the puzzle is yours to fix. Not every life around you is meant to be saved by your generosity. There are things you must leave behind, roles you must step out of, stories you no longer need to continue. And people, yes, even people you have loved so deeply, so fully, that you lost parts of yourself trying to keep them in your light. It is time to reclaim the energy you have given away unconditionally for so many years. To reclaim your roar, the one you've kept quiet for too long. To reclaim your life, your passion, your identity, and your right to live as who you truly are, not the performer, but the person. What you are feeling right now is not weakness. It is the sign that your soul is rising. It is the inner calling, the bell everyone hears at some point in life, but only the brave answer. And Leo, you are the bravest of them all. When you begin listening to that call, something soft and deeply human awakens inside you. A new clarity, a new understanding, a new breath. It is as if you are walking slowly towards something purer, truer, closer to the core of your divine self. From that quiet awakening, another movement begins to unfold, as gentle as light, touching the surface of water, not loud, not forceful, simply guiding you forward toward the place you have been waiting to reach for a very, very long time. And then, as you begin to hear the call inside you more clearly, something strange starts happening around you. Not sudden dramatic change, not yet, but small movements, gentle shifts, just enough for you to sense that something in your world is rearranging itself with the quiet order of the universe. Sometimes it is just a casual conversation that accidentally reveals a truth you needed to see. A mask slips, and you see someone's true intentions. Sometimes it is a long pause between you and someone else, a silence that shows you a bond once strong has become thin as a thread. Nothing loud, nothing tragic, but enough for you to feel that a transition is opening. Subtle but unmistakable, like the soft click of an old door finally unlocking. Leo, when a cycle has completed its purpose, the universe begins clearing the path for you. It doesn't always push you out with storms. Often, it clears the fog from your vision layer by layer. People who no longer match your next chapter will quietly drift out of your orbit like planets moving away from the path of the sun, so you can see the galaxy ahead more clearly. They aren't bad, you aren't cold, it is simply that the roads of your lives have begun to separate. And that separation is a natural part of growing into who you are meant to be. You will notice something else too. Old doors close very quickly, almost decisively. Plans you tried so hard to force into existence simply stop flowing. Old connections loosen. Things you once believed you had to do suddenly feel light, no longer gripping you the way they used to. What looks like loss is often just the universe saying, "This is no longer your path. You are too big for this room." And beside those closing doors, you will see signs appearing over and over again. Repeating numbers 111 signifying new beginnings. 444 reminding you of protection. 555 the number of change. These are not coincidences anymore. You might have dreams about fire, about large cats, about sunrises, or about walking through unfamiliar, beautiful landscapes. These are messages from your subconscious telling you that you are preparing to enter a new current. Sometimes a message repeats 3 times through the words of 3 different people, as if the universe needs you to know you are not imagining it. This is real. You are not leaving because you are running away. You are not letting go because you are unloyal. You are stepping forward because the timing is divine. Because every layer of the sky, every corner of your soul, every flow of life around you is signaling that your old journey is complete. Like a bonfire that has burned through its old wood and now needs a new forest to illuminate. Through it all, you may feel your heart grow lighter without understanding why. Things that once weighed you down no longer have the same gravitational pull, and you may even find yourself surprised at how little attachment you feel to what once meant the world to you. That is not carelessness, that is release. That is the spiritual law of the vacuum. The universe is clearing your hands of things you didn't have the courage to put down, not to leave you empty, but to give you space for the abundance that is coming. My beautiful Leo, what is happening now is not an ending. It is preparation. Preparation for you to enter a new orbit, one where your energy is respected, your voice is heard, and your path is shaped by choice rather than obligation. The moment you accept that you deserve a bigger life, light begins to rise from the places you never expected. And in that light, another movement begins. So soft, you can only hear it with your whole heart. A movement inviting you to take one more step toward the life that has been waiting to be discovered by you. But we must speak of the challenge. When the path ahead begins to glow, even with the faintest hint of light, you will notice a familiar phenomenon rising around you. It doesn't come from the universe. It comes from the people in your world. Those who once walked beside you, who once basked in your warmth, who benefited from your unwavering loyalty. When you prepare to step into a new rhythm, that is exactly when the voices trying to hold you back begin to grow louder. Not through shouting no, they know shouting doesn't work on a Leo. They use worry. They use familiarity. They use words that sound like love, but feel like chains. You will hear things like, "Why change now? You have everything here. Don't take the risk. We need you. You've changed. You're not the same." It sounds like they care. It sounds like protection. But listen closely with your intuition. Most of those words come from their fear, not your future. They fear the version of you they can't control. They fear losing the role that made them feel important, the role of being the one the Leo takes care of. They fear that when you stand taller, step farther, and shine brighter, there may no longer be space for their shadows in the world you are growing into. Leo, you need to understand this with a clear heart. Not everyone who resists your change is a villain. Not everyone who holds you back has bad intentions. But affection does not always equal support. Some people love you in a way that makes them want to keep you in your old version because that version makes them feel safe. It makes them feel comfortable. And then there are those, and this is hard to hear, who do not love you at all. They only love the light you provide. They love the warmth. They don't fear for your pain. They fear the cold they will feel once you stop burning yourself to keep them warm. Every life reaches moments when you must learn to tell these two apart. Someone who truly loves you, who is truly part of your soul family, will respect the decision you make even if they worry, even if they disagree. As long as they can see that it opens your soul instead of closing it, they will stand back and watch you fly. They will not use fear to hold you back. They will not use your own loyalty as a weapon against you. Someone who only uses you will respond very differently. They will persuade, they will pressure, they will pull at your emotions. They will remind you of every favor, every shared memory, making you feel guilty for wanting to grow. They will make you question your own readiness. But Leo, the fault is not yours. It is not wrong to want to live truthfully. The only mistake is that you have lived so long under others' expectations that you forgot you are a sovereign soul with your own path to follow. Standing firm in moments like this is the hardest thing a loyal heart can do. You will have soft moments. You will want to turn back, to keep everyone comfortable, to maintain peace. But true peace never comes from shrinking yourself. Real peace comes when you stand where the universe meant you to stand, honest with yourself, honest with your soul. When you look deeply into the eyes of those trying to keep you from moving forward, you will finally see what you never wanted to admit. Some people must be left behind for you to find yourself again. If a relationship cannot grow in the same direction as your evolution, it was never meant to stay for the whole journey. You do not have to choose between love and freedom, because real love is freedom. Somewhere in the middle of all those emotions, you will feel a strange, quiet stillness, as if beneath every voice pulling at you, there is a gentle current of light, inviting you to step ahead. Not pushing, not forcing, just a steady presence of what is right. And then, my brave Leo, the moment you gather enough courage to look straight at the hands trying to hold you back and quietly tell yourself, I have to go, something extraordinary happens. Not a thunderclap, not a loud explosion, but a lightness, a quiet opening somewhere deep inside your solar plexus, a space you didn't realize you had been waiting for. When you begin to let go, the world begins to change with you. Some things will come to you so quickly that you'll wonder why they never appeared before. But they did appear. You just couldn't receive them because your hands were still clinging to what had already expired. A door cannot open when you are standing in its way. Only when you step aside can the new wind finally rush in. You will see opportunities arriving in the most unexpected ways. An offer you didn't seek. A door opening where you expected a wall. A message, a call, an invitation. Sometimes just a small coincidence that carries a direction you never imagined. And the beautiful thing is this: these opportunities don't come because you chase them. They come because you are brave enough to release the old story. Then you will meet new people. Not people who come to fill the emptiness of the old, but people who reflect a fuller, wiser version of you. They will see your value without you having to perform. You won't need to roar to be heard. You won't need to buy their love with grand gestures. They will listen when you speak, respect you when you are silent, and stand beside you like quiet landmarks of peace. The kind of peace you never knew you were missing until it arrived. Relationships born from freedom carry a different kind of light, a light that doesn't burn you, but nourishes you. Your work life will shift too. What once felt blocked will begin to open without force. Paths you thought were closed will reveal themselves little by little. You will find yourself stepping into roles, spaces, and possibilities you never dared to imagine before. Not because they were too big, but because in your old state you simply had no room to dream of them. When the soul is freed, the imagination expands, and suddenly the road ahead of you is wider than you ever believed. And maybe on some quiet morning, as you stand by a window or place your feet on the floor after a long sleep, you will realize you are living differently. Something in the air feels lighter. Something in your heartbeat feels steadier. Something in your eyes looks brighter. Peace doesn't always arrive through dramatic change. Sometimes it comes simply from not living against yourself anymore. A new place, whether it is a room, a city, or just a corner of your own inner world, can offer a peace you never knew you were missing. It is like finding fresh water after walking too long in the desert. You could survive without it, but once you touch it, you finally understand how thirsty you truly were. Leo, the universe never takes anything from you without giving you something far greater in return. But that gift always asks for courage. It asks for trust. It asks you to step out of the familiar even when the familiar feels like safety. When you let go, your life doesn't fall apart. It opens, and within that opening, you will feel something calling you to step forward once more. Not a voice from others, not a voice from duty or expectation, but a voice entirely your own. A truth rising from your soul, a truth that has waited so long to lead you into the next light that belongs to you. And then, in the middle of all the changes you have been feeling, there comes a very particular moment. It arrives so quietly that you only notice it when your heart suddenly becomes still in a way that feels strange but peaceful. A stillness that isn't empty. A stillness that isn't lonely. A stillness like the sky holding its breath right before the first light of sunrise touches the earth after a long night. That is the moment of your solar rebirth. Because Leo, the final destination of everything you have walked through, is not loss. It is not an ending. It is not a collapse of your kingdom. The final destination is light. The very light you forgot you once carried. The light you shrank, covered, and dimmed under expectations, responsibilities, and the fear of outshining others. That light is returning now like an old friend, touching your hand and saying, "I never left. I was just waiting for you." For so long, you have tried to fit yourself into shapes that were never meant for you. You have swallowed emotions just to keep the peace. You have made yourself smaller so no one else would feel overshadowed by your brilliance. But Leo, listen to me. You are not born to stand in the dim. You were born to shine. You were born to lead. You were born to ignite fire from your heart and let that fire illuminate your own life, not just light the way for others to walk over you. And now, because you have been brave enough to let go, to walk away, to stand tall beyond the things that once held you down, you will see clearly that you are still here, stronger, brighter, more whole than you ever realized. No more shrinking yourself to fit someone's comfort. No more tightening your jaw to keep the peace. No more living inside roles written by anyone but you. You will become the clearest, truest version of yourself, a version only you can define. You will feel a new kind of freedom spreading through your body like warm liquid sunshine. You will feel strong without needing to be hardened, soft without being weak, brave without proving it through any battle. This rebirth doesn't turn you into someone else. It brings you back to the essence you were always meant to live from. An essence so radiant that others once admired it, but you dimmed it to make them more comfortable. Now, the sun within you is rising again. And this time, it doesn't just light the path ahead, it lights the person you have always wanted to become. A new beginning is nearing. One that doesn't require effort. It requires belief. Belief that good things move toward you when you are true to yourself. Belief that your inner light has every right to shine without permission. Belief that your life isn't bound by what has already happened, but is opened by what you choose today. And when you step forward, that light will greet you like dawn after a long night. Not rushing, not overwhelming, just perfectly timed. It will lift you, hold you, and carry you into a new orbit. An orbit that only true souls brave enough to grow, to be honest, to let go, can step into. Leo, you have traveled a long road. You have learned lessons that would break lesser spirits. You have lost, you have grieved, you have released, and now you have risen. You are approaching the place the universe has been preparing for you all along. The place where your brightest self is waiting. A place where your new life begins with the very light you choose to ignite today. And from that moment on, your story will continue to unfold softly, clearly, brightly, like the sun itself. Exactly the way it was always meant to be written. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me today. If this message resonated with your spirit, remember to like this video, to seal the energy, and share it with a fellow Leo who needs to hear this truth. And until we meet again, remember you are the sun. Never ever apologize for burning bright. Go forth and be magnificent.